Well, good evening, everybody. How you doing? Man, 20 people. What a start. I can't believe it. It's a new record for me. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. How's everybody doing this evening? Busy. Was watching Mel's show for the last hour, and I don't think Mel would be here yet or listening, but we have to congratulate him on his progress, mastering flying RC airplanes line of sight. Very impressive. Not an easy thing to do. So kudos to you, Mel. And let me say, I got my resident comedian in the green room trying to crack me up again. You can't do it, Art. Not going to let you do it. Not going to let you do it. Was he eating cookies? He was eating cookies. Now he's showing me, hell.
Bear bites.
Bear bites.
Got these free at the supermarket. What I did is I ordered all my food online. Just went over there, called them up, and they had this little bag. And I'm, oh, cool. And it had some snacks and some drinks in there, like
cool.
energy drinks and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
And these are graham crackers, so they're not bad.
Next time I'm going to catch you right in the middle of your antics so everybody can see what you... Well, here we are, everybody. FPV Workshop, Sunday night. So maybe we can actually do some work, answer some questions. I'm sorry to hear that Rick Halber isn't quite up to coming on, but he said maybe in an hour, and I really want to see if we can't get his radio working with his Velocidrone so he can start playing with the
Cool.
simulator. Let me take a second here, Art, and say hi to everybody. Jay Bird, how you doing, buddy?
Jay Bird,
John
John
Coopy,
Coopy,
yeah.
Steve
That's
Coopy.
Joe. Wait a minute, let me do it.
Go ahead, take it
All
away.
right, thank you. Drone Shots, how you doing, buddy? Jody, Agent K, good to see you. Michael McReynolds, John Coopy. I ordered one of those smoke stopper things. Race Day Quads had them in stock. I ordered it right after I watched your video yesterday, and it's going to be delivered tomorrow morning. So how's that? Pretty good. But they do have them in stock. In case you're wondering, Bob Casey, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Rick Halber, thanks for coming in. And Pondenmore, how are you? Nathaniel Lee. Who else we got? Chris Hope. Hi, Chris. Jim Wallace is here. Jim, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Glad to see you're still hanging around. Arizona Drone Dude is here, and somebody named Artco Drone Solutions. If you have a drone that needs solving, Art's your guy. Paulie, Drone Bum, good to see you. Yeah, Paul is going to the dark side. Paul is, yeah, he's doing it. He had a video last week. If you haven't seen it, you got to watch it. It's great. It's like a crash montage with a Tinyhawk. So I put in the comments, I said, don't feel bad, Paulie. That's how we all started. So still crash a lot. Who did I miss?
John Spizzo.
Oh, yeah, there he is. Hey, John, just came in. How you
Michael
doing?
McReynolds.
Michael's here, yeah. Steve Carpenter. Hey, Steve, how you doing? Good to see you. So I sent links out. I sent them earlier in the day, so I wouldn't forget. If anybody
Sausage links?
would like to, yes, those two. Anybody would like to be on the panel, we'd love to have you. So just let it be known in the chat. And my trusty sidekick, Art Carlson, who never takes his eye off the chat, definitely will not miss it. Correct?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So where do you want to start, Art? You want to
Well,
tell
I
us
flew the
about your
Artel
adventures?
Evo earlier today. Flies great. Got some nice photos. I'm still gotta tweak the video on there. uh, when it's in 4K, the video is kind of jerky. And Sean thinks that I might have to knock it down to 1080, and that might solve that problem.
Well, it shouldn't be. So you might need to explore the SD card that you're using,
Okay.
and making sure that
Well, I put a different SD card in it. Maybe I need a ultra high fast.
you
Uh,
do. You absolutely do, because it's going to be 100, probably 100 megabits. So, it has to be at least class 3. A U has the U
Yeah.
with the 3 in it. And some cards, even though they have that 3 in the U, still don't have what it takes. I use the SanDisk Extreme
Right.
and Extreme Pro. The Extremes are the ones with the red and yellow paint,
Right.
and the Pros are the red and black ones. And I've
Okay.
had great luck with both those cards. They're relatively inexpensive on Amazon, and they been using them for years, and they really work well. I also have what the hell is it? I got it in my goggles here.
Okay.
Here, my goggles.
Oh,
So
cool.
let's see. It would be on the bottom of the goggles, and it would be right here. It is right there. This thing's got so many slots in it. This is a Samsung.
Okay.
A Samsung Evo 64.
I've always
Let's see
had
if-
good luck with those. The Evo,
those are-
the one with the green and white.
Yeah, those are good. Those are good cards.
Yeah, I've always had really good luck with those.
Through the magic of big zoom. There you go.
Okay, the U3. Yep.
Yep, that's that card is very inexpensive. I've got some of them in 64 gigs and some 128 gigs. And
Right.
they work great, and they work great in everything. They work, but I still tend to use the SanDisk cards,
Right.
especially the Extreme Pro, the black and red one. I use that in my Mavics, and have always had good luck with those. So that's a good card. Now I better put
Okay.
it back in my goggles, or it will disappear and get swallowed up by my house like so many things do. All right, back in the goggles. So what do we got in the chat going on here? Everybody saying hi to each other.
We got about
Scott,
20. Yep.
I see 30 people now. Wow,
30.
That's
No,
a
there we
new,
go, yep.
That's a new record for me, guys. Thanks. Thank you very much. So somebody come up with something to talk about, a question, or come on into the chat. Art and I can keep you entertained for a little while. I was showing some flight footage on the intro that I shot yesterday and the day before, not yesterday, a couple days ago, out at the park, and it was this, and this. Okay, I want to go to the next one because I went out to the park. This was really cool. I went out to the park this morning to fly, and when I get there, there's some guy with one of these paramotors, these powered parachute things. Where they wear this thing on their back with the motor and a big cage. Yeah. Well, he's out there, and he's flying all over the park. And I said, there's no way I can, I'm going to go up with my drone, not know, I had nobody to spot for me and not knowing where this guy's going to be. So I figured he can't be up there too long. So I just kind of watched him fly, and I took some cell phone video of him up in the air. And I can give you a little shot of some of that cell phone video here if you let me find it real quick. And let's see, it's really not the greatest cell phone video, but
You blew right through that stop sign.
and it's sideways. Okay, that's really cool.
Oh,
So let me,
yeah, now I see him.
Yeah, anyway, stupid cell phone, but he was up there flying all over the place with that thing. And so is this the one I want?
So did you go
I'll
buzz
tell you in a
him?
minute. No. I waited till he landed, and
Okay.
first he started to land. That's not the video. He started to land way at the other side of the park, way at the other side of the park, and it's a big park. So I just wanted to, talk to him and find out a little bit about what he was doing. So and make sure he was going to stay down so that I could then go fly. So I went, got in my car, and now if you look at the top of this picture, you see that building over there that's just gone out of. That's where he was trying to land. And he went down below the trees, and then he come back up again, and then he came back around and to the field where I fly, which is right off to the right there, and he landed there on that field. So I said. I pulled my car over, and he had this bunched up his parachute, grabbed it all up, tripping over it. He had this young kid, like a early 20s, and he was, walking it off the field. And he gets about over. I walked out there to meet him, and he looked at me, and he didn't know whether I was going to arrest him. Or you know how when you're flying drones, when people come up to you, you don't know what the hell whether they're going to say, "Hey, that's great," or "You can't fly that here. Stop taking pictures of my wife." So at any rate, is this the one where he was there? One of these videos,
Right.
he was. Yeah, there he is. There he is, right there. I'm going to stop it right here.
Oh, okay.
So right here, he's. So I went up and talked to him. Nice young kid. And it turns out he's just starting this. This is a brand new thing. He took lessons, and he's learning how to fly, but he's really not that confident yet. So he blew the first landing over there where his car was parked, clear at the other side of the park, and landed way over here. So I said to him, "Just leave your gear here, and I'll drive you over to get your car." So I drove him over there to get his car, and he came back. And as he was starting to pack up, I said, "Well, now it's such a gorgeous morning. I'm just going to go fly." So I started flying, and I did this flight. And I told the kid, I said, it'd be really, if you know that I'm up there flying, it'd be great to follow you around with an FPV drone and take some footage. So he said, yeah, he said, "I'd love to do that." So we swapped phone numbers. So maybe we'll do it, and I'll do it with a tiny whooper or something shrouded. So there's no chance I cut all the strings on his parachute by accident, But nice kid, and so I did this flight. And this was with my little 3-inch Acrobat with the
cool.
This is becoming one of my. I fly this more than anything. It's a little 3-inch Acrobat with the DJI system, and it's great flying little quad. You can't tell whether it's a 5-inch or a 3-inch when you're flying it. It's very stable. Anyway, I really enjoy it, and I got some shots of him. I think I actually went over there and hovered right in front of him for a minute. Let's see if I can find that scene, so as not to bore you guys to death with this stuff. There he is on the right. No, that wasn't the time I did it. Okay, where is it? Here it is. There he is, packing up. I think he actually waved at me. There you go. So that was fun. Let me catch up. Joe Blaylock's here. Hey, Joe, how you doing? Yeah, paramotor. I called it a parachute, and he went and corrected me and said, no, it's a paramotor. Rick Halber says he didn't receive the link. Art, you're supposed to be monitoring this chat.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's all right. All right, let's see. With what I pay you, you could at least do your job. Put an Evo card
Okay.
in the Evo drone.
I'll
Okay, Agent
go.
K says use an Evo SD card. So they, just a reminder, everyone in chat, please do not forget. Oh, smash the like button. Thank you. Thank you. Is that SD card class 10? Yes, it is, Michael. And Nitrain says paramotor. It is paramotor. And Mike says I found these at Walmart.
All right, I
Put a link in there.
put the link in Rick Halber's.
Did you send him the link?
Yeah.
Okay.
Through Messenger.
Okay. And if Rick, let us know if you don't get it. If you don't get it, I will email it to you right now. I'm sure. Yeah. Joe Blaylock says lots of cool YouTube channels on these paragliders. Oh, I'm sure there are. You can probably find a lot of videos of drones flying around them and everything else, especially camera drones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, guys are talking about SD cards. So that's what I've been up to, and I went out there this morning, and the entire field was covered with soccer players. So, so tomorrow morning we're supposed to. I have to edit this, and in the editor I will rotate it. I don't know why I was holding the camera sideways, but for some reason when I sent the video over to the computer, when I copied it, it came out sideways like this. But that's something I've never done. Never. I've done ultralight flying, but I've never flown one of those powered chutes. And now with my semi-bad back, I don't think it's probably be a good idea for me to be landing hard on my feet with 50 pounds of motor and propeller strapped to me. Okay, let's get rid of that and get us back to size here. So we'll see if Rick comes in. Did Rick say whether he got the link or not?
Yeah, he just saw my message.
Oh, okay. All right, good. Yeah, he did, Joe. He came back alive. I didn't see his landing because I was clear at the other end of the park looking for him in my car when I saw he was heading over back to our field to land. By the time I got there, he was standing out in the middle of the field, wondering how the hell am I going to get back to my car with all of this crap that I've got bolted to me. And that's quite a lot of stuff when you bunch up that parachute and you get your arms around it, and it's hanging down in front of your feet, a lot of it. You're tripping over it as you're walking. You got 50 or I don't know how much that thing weighs. It's got to weigh at least 50 pounds, if not more, that motor on your back. It reminds me of ballooning, hot air ballooning.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I decided many years ago, when I was living in Orlando, we went on one of a balloon flight with the Rosie O'Grady's Church Street station. They had a hot air balloon flights, and they had these huge balloons where they gave you champagne and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you met out in the middle of nowhere first thing in the morning before dawn, and so I went up on this flight, and it was such a gorgeous morning, dead calm, dead still. It was great. So go up in the balloon, and being a pilot, I said, this is pretty neat. So when we got done, I said, I'm going to look into this. So I found out where they had some guys in Orlando there that were instructors and gave balloon lessons. So I signed up for some balloon lessons. And it's not a great segue from Rick Halber, but here's Rick.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, Rick, how you doing, buddy?
All right, hang it in there.
Good.
I'm all mixed up there when we got some switching browsers and everything to get on here. So everything's different tonight for some reason.
Oh, well, it looks like it's working okay. So I'll finish my little balloon story real quick.
Go ahead, guys.
And then we'll see if we can't get your radio working with your Velocidrone. If you're up to it, are you feeling okay?
Yeah, I feel a little better now.
All right.
All of
Okay.
a sudden, I felt like crap and didn't want to mess you up.
No, that's all right. No problem. So anyway, I go out with this guy, and I meet him for breakfast, like 4 o'clock in the morning at a Denny's, and we drive out to a parking lot right off of the highway. It was a big box store parking lot. I forget which one, and that's where we were going to take off from. And it's a little two-man balloon, not a big, not a huge, big, grand, brand new balloon like
Right.
Rosie O'Grady's had. This is a fairly old, rickety-looking two-man POS looking balloon, And I almost had second thoughts, but all right, let's do it. So spreads the balloon out. I learned how to do all that stuff. And I got to tell you, it is a lot of work. You're schlepping and lugging and dragging the balloon and dragging the gondola and hooking up the gas bottles. And I mean, it's a physically demand. It's supposed to be. When I went on with the roadies, with the Rosie O'Grady's guy, we just stepped on, handed me a glass of champagne, and away we went out over the vineyards.
Mm-hmm.
This was nothing at all like that. This was the anti Rosie O'Grady balloon experience. So we get into that, then we get it fired up. You got to have a big fan, big gasoline engine powered fan to blow them up to get them started. Then you blow the hot air in them, and they finally go up. And so we got the thing in there, and we get in the balloon, and we take off. We go up. But we don't go anywhere because there is absolutely no wind. So we're in this hot air balloon. We're up at about 100 to 150 feet up. Not real high.
Right.
About as high as you fly your drone. We're just up there. We're just hanging there. No wind, no breeze, no nothing. And we're not moving. We're not moving an inch.
Right.
We're just hanging over the big box parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
Not picturesque like the vineyards that we were soaring over in
It's like, oh, there's
the Rosie O'Grady's balloon.
asphalt over there.
Right.
Hey, there's
And
asphalt over there.
And he's teaching me, how to, basically how you work the burners.
Right.
When you notice that you need to add a little heat, because everything lags. You add a bunch of heat, then you got to wait a while to see what happens, see if you had enough heat or not enough heat. Because you had too much heat, next thing you know, you're going up too fast.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to learn that. So, I was soaking it all in, but I wasn't having a really great time hanging around over this concrete parking lot in the big box store. So all of a sudden, finally, you start moving. 1 mile an hour. Where are we moving? Towards the highway.
Right towards the power lines.
Towards the highway.
Oh boy!
We were right next to the East-West Expressway in Orlando, which is a toll road. So it's two lanes in each direction, and we're up 100, 150 feet. Anyway, we over the power lines, and over the highway.
Highway.
And when we get right over the highway, and we stop. now we're hanging right over the highway. I said, oh, this is great. If we got to land now, what the hell are we going to do? So, you only have about an hour and a half's worth of fuel in those things. So it's not like you can just float forever.
Turn around the other way, go.
Yeah. You have to try to swim.
Yeah.
And anyway, the wind finally picked up a little bit. We finally drifted across the highway, and we drifted. We never really went anywhere. We just kind of slowly drifted. We went over this about an hour. We were about an hour into this thing, and we had made it about a tenth of a mile, just to the other side and across the highway over this school. Exactly at the time, all the parents in the cars were bringing all the kids to school. And here's this balloon, 100 feet up in the air, just hanging there over everything. Well, traffic jam ensued, because everybody had to watch the stupid balloon.
Oh yeah.
So we're hanging right over the school, cars everywhere, kids everywhere, and we're trying to figure out where we're gonna land this thing, because we're getting ready to come down.
Roof.
So then finally we drift past the school into a housing development, and end up right over somebody's roof about 25 feet in the air. We're kind of hanging over the roof. And the homeowners who hear the noise, because those burners, you've heard them, they make a blast of noise when you
Yeah.
fire them. Well, imagine being home and hearing this going on right over your house. So the whole neighborhood's turning out now to see this balloon that's stuck right over the house, 25 feet in the air. We finally just made it off of their roof and landed right in the cul-de-sac, right in the middle of the cul-de-sac. And that was my first balloon experience, and I was almost done then. So comes time for the second lesson, we had the exact opposite. We got up in that balloon and we were flying. We were going, we must have been going 30 miles an hour. You know, I mean, we were just whipping. The next thing I know, we were in the next county, going over farm fields and everything. Trees are flying by, and we did one of those landings where the basket tumbles and gets dragged by the balloon as it's deflating. And that was my last balloon lesson. I said, nah. I said, this isn't for me. So that was the end of my hot air balloon career. I don't even remember why I started telling that story, but something segued me into it.
Carlos wants to see some Velocidrome going on.
Oh well, maybe a little later. First, let's see if we can get Rick working. Okay, Rick.
Yeah, go get him set
All
up.
right. So Rick, you
Yeah,
got a
I'll
Velocidrome?
I'll have some more graham crackers. Well, go ahead.
Where's that mute button here? Let me see. Mute Art Carlson. There it is. Okay. No more. That's annoying. Just like the guy sitting behind you in the movie theater unwrapping cellophane candies. Are you going to behave, Art? Okay, you're unmuted now. You can speak up. Have you got Velocidrome running on your computer?
Yeah. Well, I gotta hit play on it.
I don't mean play. I mean, did you actually get it loaded where the
Yeah.
first screen comes up?
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're looking at is we're looking at this. Not mine's still loading. I just loaded it. This new version of Velocidrone just takes forever to load.
I need to load it up in the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you load it up yet or?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay, yeah, just double click on the icon or whatever. Get it so you're into the menu, and this thing someday might actually load up. Just when I think there's something wrong with it, it finally comes in. But I don't know why it takes a minute or two to actually get fired up. Maybe it's because of all the other crap I got running. There it is. I want you to get to this screen. Okay, I want you to get to that screen right there. So tell me when you're there. And then I want you to take your controller. All right, Rick?
Okay.
Take your radio.
Now I'm at a point where I've got Velocidrone is it's getting ready to come to the page that you were on.
Okay.
But I don't see anything else. I don't see you. Everything else is gone.
No, that's okay. Okay, but you do have, I hear audio echoing back in from, is it from your, you got your YouTube feed up too? You watch it?
No.
All right, we'll work through it.
Okay, it's at the page that you were on, the first page on Velocidrone.
Okay, so now take your controller, your radio,
Okay.
turn it on.
Welcome to OpenTX.
Once the screen comes up, plug your
Okay.
USB port in. USB-C up on. Now, are you using the jumper T18?
Yeah.
All right, plug it in the top port on your thing.
Come on.
USB-C. It's oh
Yeah,
no,
I
yours. You don't have the USB-C mod, do you? Oh, you have the T18. Yeah, that's got USB-C.
Just trying to make sure I got the right cable here. I got so many of them hanging here. Come on. Darn it. USB-C. This one here.
All right,
right.
and then it should come up on the screen, and you should have a thing that says USB joystick or USB storage.
Yeah.
One of them is
Okay.
going to be one of them is highlighted. It should say USB joystick should be highlighted.
Yes, it is.
So just select that by pushing the roller down,
Okay.
and you should hear your computer go ding ding like when you connect the USB device.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, now I want you to go over to Velocidrone here.
Okay.
Don't touch the controller yet. Just go over to Velocidrone and go down to where it says controller in the lower left and click on it. And tell me what you see on your screen. Does it look like my screen?
I can't see your screen at all.
Oh, great. Okay. Do you have a bunch of?
No controller, assigned controller, assigned sticks, reset all.
Okay, but it doesn't say jumper T16 joystick at the top, does it?
No.
All right. What happens if you click on assign controller?
It says move stick to the stick on the controller you want to select.
So go ahead and move the stick around.
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens. All right. I think now when you reinstalled all your stuff, did you reinstall all those drivers? Remember all the drivers you had to?
That
You
was
had to
for, that was for beta flight.
Oh, okay. I think there may be some drivers that we need to find for you, Rick. If you, and what makes it hard?
You'll
What
need
makes
to
it
go
hard
back
for?
to control panel and go to devices and then
Yeah, and
Yeah.
fix that driver. So that's
Yeah.
going to be. I think that's probably what's causing your problem, Rick. A Windows update. And God, Art, I'm trying to remember where that was. Do you remember where that was? Here I am supposed to be giving technical help here, but this.
yeah, you go to
you
the
go-
little gear and you click on that, and then you go to devices, and I think it's either keyboard or USB.
You want? I think you want. Yeah. Is it? Well, I thought you did this from the device driver.
Yeah, go over to.
I need to get out of Velocidrone.
Yeah, I would. I
Yeah.
would right now.
Okay, quit it. Okay, now I can see everything again.
Or USB. No. There is. Let's go into. Let's do this. Let's go into
Device manager. That's where you want to go.
device manager right here. Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yep,
then it
yep,
was
you got
down.
it right.
It
Yep.
was down in.
I think it's keyboards.
Was it keyboards?
No.
HID keyboard device, Logitech. Or was it down here in USB? No.
Oh,
The
go
problem
to,
is once you make the change, it didn't show up anymore. Remember?
go to human interface devices. Try
And
that.
yeah,
Either
and the
that or
thing.
keyboards.
No, I think
Yeah.
it was one of those. But the thing is, once you fix the driver, it. I think maybe you had to have the thing plugged in order to see it. Sorry, Rick. We'll figure
Not a
it out.
problem. No
This
problem.
is something that Windows, unfortunately, just screwed up, and
Right.
reset the drivers to the wrong driver,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't see it show up under human interface.
Yeah.
Not under
Uh,
not under keyboards. It's not showing up. Of course, it would. See, the thing is, it showed up wrong, and then when you fixed it, it stopped showing up at all.
Yep.
So
that's right.
unfortunately, right now, and remember, I had sent you a video, Art,
Right.
for that. Do you still have the link for that video? Because Rick, I think your best bet here,
Go find out.
rather than get involved right now, because it's very hard
Okay.
when I can't see your screen
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
of what you're
Yeah.
doing.
June 19th, Velocidrome driver fix.
Can you throw the link in the chat?
Okay, I'm trying to. Oh, okay. Here we go.
Every update it
And
seems
I'll-
to undo itself. Right,
okay.
you're right, John. You're right. And then what happens is once you get it fixed, you forget what you did, because it's not
Yeah.
something that we deal with every day. It's not something I
Yeah.
deal with every day. Fixing driver issues. Back when I was in the computer business 100 years ago, I used to deal with that every day. But now, most of the stuff just works most of the time.
Okay, Rick. I got it. Nope, that's. I gotta make sure I put it in the right message.
Well, no, I want you to put it into my chat. Put it in the chat
into
too.
your. Okay.
Yeah, put it in the chat so everybody can get it. But this is a pretty well done little video. It's only 3
Okay,
or 4
here-
minutes, I think.
Here it is.
And it tells you step by step how to go through, find the particular thing you have to do. And what you're going to be doing is when you find this new driver that they installed that's screwing
There
things
it
up,
is.
you'll go in there and there'll be a thing that basically says, if I remember correctly, our rollback driver or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So try
So
that, Rick.
I put it in the chat. So there it is.
Okay. Rick, do you see it in the chat?
Yeah.
See if you can get to that video and just go ahead and at your leisure, see if you can. I just want to make sure you can get to the video. Save the link or something, so
Yeah.
so you can watch that. And then what'll happen is when you do what we just did, when you plug in your radio, plug the USB cord into your radio, select the correct option for USB and not SD card.
Yeah, it'll
And
be
then
real
go in-
easy. You'll have that yellow exclamation point.
Yeah, and then it's actually highlighted in red, I think, on the jumpers. It looks different than it does on your QX7. Yeah. Rick, did you get the?
It's trying to open it, and I'm clicked on it to watch later.
Okay, but
Yeah, it took my chat away and opened it on the chat page.
oh yeah, I don't know. That's a problem that YouTube is having. I just tried it. It did the same damn thing for me. So
Now I should have it when I can go back later and watch it.
yeah, well, let me know if you don't. Just send me an email if you can't find it, and I'll just go ahead and email the thing to you. Okay.
Want me to do that now?
No,
Or-
I don't think you want to do it now. Do it when you have some time and you can, because you're gonna have to
Okay.
watch that video and follow it carefully, step by step, which means you're going to be using your computer, and you don't want to be using your
Yeah.
computer to be on a live stream at the same time you're doing that.
Yeah, okay. We'll continue
Mel says if you right click on that link and say open in a new tab. Yeah, there you go. Hadn't thought of that.
Okay,
So how you
I
doing,
got-
Mel? I see Mel is here. Welcome.
Hello.
And Mel, I congratulated you on your RC flying. I was impressed. You're doing real well. Yeah, I enjoyed watching that. I was watching your show before this. So kudos to you. All right, so
I
do
got-
that, Rick. Just
Right click on it?
if you right click on the link in the chat that Art put up,
Yeah.
you'll get a link that says you'll see a selection up at the top that says open link in new tab.
That doesn't say that on here.
If you right click on the link in the chat that Art posted, you don't get a list of options. that says-
Okay, I gotta close it. I gotta go back somehow and get the right chat, get the chat back.
Okay.
Yeah, I still got all these other things going on here. I don't know how to get back to the chat.
Well, close out Velocidrone. Did you do that?
Yeah, we closed that out.
And
Closed that out.
so if you're on I see, because you're on StreamYard now. So you don't have you had opened up the pop out chat, had you?
Yeah. See where I'm at now.
Very tough to do all this kind of stuff with one monitor, Rick.
Yeah.
It's
Open
next.
link and new, okay, open link and new tab.
There you go.
But
So
now I don't know where I'm at. Oh, it's still loading on YouTube.
Inactivity alarm.
Okay, shut up.
that's your radio. Yeah, turn your radio off.
Yeah.
Inactivity.
Somebody talk.
That's the radio. If you
Yeah.
leave it turned on and don't touch it
Oh,
for
it was the
a little
computer
while.
lady from Star Trek.
No, this is the jumper lady who comes on and says inactivity alarm.
All
Dr.
right.
Drone, hey, hello, Dr. Drone. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Who else we got here? Tech Air One, somebody new. Welcome, Tech Air One. Good evening to you, sir, or madam.
Okay, now
Yeah.
I'm back.
Agent K says, "Welcome to tech support." We're not getting much support done here, are we? Art? This is the simplest damn thing, Rick, and we're having more problems.
Well, it's my lack of knowledge.
Well, it's not the lack of knowledge. It's just
That and some other things aren't working right. And
yeah. Then you had the computer problem, but we'll get there. We'll get there. I think this is if you plug your controller into Velocidrone and nothing happens, it is this driver issue with Windows. Even everybody that had it working when Windows did their upgrade screwed up. It just screwed up everybody.
Yeah.
So a number of people made these little videos of how to do it. Guys that are computer whizzes, unlike those of us who try to be drone whizzes. And this particular video, Art, it was very easy to follow, and it fixed the problem immediately.
Yep.
So when you, I'm good. God, is that echo coming from you, Rick, or is that coming from you, Art? I'm gonna mute Rick. I'm gonna mute you for a second. Okay.
Yeah.
Did the echo go away? Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, we won't worry about it. All right, Rick. After this is all done, and you get your computer all rebooted and back to normal and ready to go, watch that YouTube video and follow along with what it says to do and make the changes, and then open Velocidrone, plug it in like we did. Make sure you press the roller button down and select USB. Go into controller page
Mm-hmm.
And up at the top, it should say jumper T18 or whatever controller.
It could know.
Yeah,
But
right
I
now it
plugged
says no controller. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's
I
because your drivers are screwed up. So when you do see that jumper up there, there's a thing, a button that says calibrate controller. So you
Right.
go in and you calibrate the controller, and then it should work.
Yeah,
Then you
I had-
basically have. I'm
I
sorry.
had done that before when I first installed the Velocity drone, and I had everything working with another controller.
Where is that other controller?
I forget which one it was. It was about a year and a half ago.
Is that long ago?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Well, Windows has screwed things up since then. That's for sure.
So,
So,
Just follow the bouncing drone.
yeah. Just follow the directions in that video, and then if you had it, and then email me or call me. You have my phone number?
What?
yeah, I got your number.
Yeah, just give me a call, and we'll get it straightened out.
What's that strange noise?
That's the feedback we're getting from Rick's feed, I think. Yeah, 'cause
Sounded
when
like
I
somebody farting or something.
Yeah, when I mute you, all that goes away. So what am I going to do with you? Yeah, your audio is all screwed up now too, Rick. On top of everything else, I think your computer's probably saying, "Okay, guys, I've had enough." Yeah, I can't even understand you now. I can't understand a word. Hey, Rick, try. All right, buddy. Thanks. Take care. All right. Oh man, we need to.
Oh.
We need to get Rick a new computer with three monitors and all that other. I can't even Art. I can't even work on a computer if it doesn't have multiple monitors.
Ah,
I can't. I mean, if
No?
you're trying to do some graphics work, you got to have Photoshop or Premiere in one window. You got to
yeah,
have your
that's-
file systems and all the other crap in the other windows. And
mhm.
and I work with this three monitor setup. Well,
That worked.
there
Let's
it is.
see it.
That's great. Yeah, it just disappeared. That's because my rear camera. Oh, I know why. Because I loaded. I put a USB in for my controller, and what did it do? It said to my camera behind me, "Excuse me, sir, I have to borrow your USB port,
There you go.
but I'm not going to give it back when I'm done." So basically, Art, if you will entertain the fine folks for a second,
Okay.
okay, I will gray myself out.
Great. Great. You look better though.
Can you
Yeah.
still hear me? Can you still hear me?
Yes, we still hear you.
Okay.
Or at least
All right,
I
good.
hear you.
Okay. And then we come back in. And then my camera's working again.
There you go.
And in order for me to accomplish what I just did, I have to actually go in and close OBS and reopen it. And,
Wow.
and when I reopen OBS, it looks around and sees what devices and cameras and things are out there on the system.
Right.
John Coopy says, "Old guy is gone gray." Yeah. No, I haven't yet, actually. See, that's my natural.
How
That's my
how
my
big
natural
is
hair
your
color.
middle monitor?
43 inch.
Wow. I've
It's a
got
TV.
a 26 inch, right?
It's a
Right.
it's a TV. It's
Oh.
a Hitachi. It's a Hitachi 4K Roku TV that I bought at Sam's Club for, I think, less than $300. And
Not bad.
it has the Roku remote controller.
Cool.
and you can watch TV on it too. It has all the,
Yeah.
you know, it has Roku built in. I can watch Netflix, but it has, you go to the PC input, and it'll take 4K off my computer.
Right.
So I have a full 4K monitor, which is sharp as a tack. It's
Nice.
great for video editing and everything.
So the monitor to your left, that was what, a 32?
That's a 32 inch.
Okay.
That's also
And the
a
ones-
television. That's also a tele. They're all televisions. All my monitors in here are TV sets. This
Oh,
is
wow.
a Samsung, just high def, 1920 by 1080. It's just it's just a Samsung TV, and this
Right.
thing over here is a cheap little. The one on the right is a cheap little Dynex, and it's a,
Yeah,
it's,
I've had those.
it's actually 1440 by something, so it's even a little higher resolution. And what I do is on the one on the right, the little one on the right, I use for only one thing, and that is to play videos. So I'll load a video on it. See,
Oh,
if I want to
okay.
show any kind of video, and then I'll make it full screen on that monitor. See, and then when I switch to my OBS to display the right monitor, that's where, so that kind of acts as a palette or a place for me to keep videos that I want to play, or if I want to show a YouTube window or something, I can move it over to that screen. And I have two different buttons on my Stream Deck here. One of them allows me to be down in the corner, and the other scene takes me out and just shows
Oh,
just shows the window, so I can either be there or not be there.
I see.
And that's what that's all about. So there we go. So
Nice.
let's talk about drones and everything else.
Okay.
Cigar Nation Warriors.
Yeah.
It's funny. When I go on StreamYard, sometimes my audio goes to crap. Yeah, Rick, it got so bad we couldn't even understand you. And then of course
Yeah.
Art was making fun of it all, which made it even harder to take. Oh man! So John, Koopy, did you get your marmot frame yet? So where's everybody tonight? I sent out all these links. Started off big, had 30 people in here, expected
Yeah.
all these drone guys to come in and ask me questions that I could answer that didn't have to do with Windows drivers, which I don't really claim to be an expert on.
Right.
And nobody showed up. Where's Carlos and Ed? They were flying. They were doing a live stream earlier, and I stopped in to say hello on their live stream. Agent K says he has a question. Okay,
Oh.
let's wait. So I spent the afternoon. I was telling the guys over on Ed's stream. So Carnation said it's Sunday night porn time. Yeah. On this thing here, I went ahead and replaced the flight. I had a flight controller in it, and I wasn't happy with it.
Right.
It was an older flight controller that I had that was acting up, so I went ahead and got the new Maytech 411 WSE, which is a very small little flight controller. I'm going to see if I can somehow get this over here underneath the camera so you guys can see. Let's see if this works. I know that it's going to be real big here. Right? There we go. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And let's get it in the picture and zoom out a little bit. So what I did was there was more room in the compartment underneath. This is the bottom of the airplane.
Right.
I'll zoom out a little so you can see what we're looking at. There it is. So this is the bottom of the airplane, And there's a lot of stuff goes into this thing, but this little controller right here is a two-level. It's got two boards, one on top of the other, and they plug together, and it's underneath. And in order to, and because these things back here are where the servos plug in, and the wires from the servo connectors and the wings are very short, I had to rotate, not only put the board in upside down, but I had to rotate it, yaw it 90 degrees, so that the connectors were facing the front of the airplane. And it worked out great. The only problem that creates is there's an arrow on here. Let me see if I can see where the arrow is. It's buried, here it is. It's buried right down there. And the front of the board is this way.
Oh, okay.
This is the front, right? This is the front of the board right here. Okay, so that creates a problem for the gyros in this thing, because it has to know which way the front is. So there are actually settings in both Betaflight and in iNav that are interesting settings, and I'm going to see if I can't get that up and show you. So we're going to plug in see if we can't further screw up the USB ports in my computer here. I'm going to plug this in, and we should have blinkies.
The lights.
And so now I'm going to go over here and load iNav and show you what you do. What you do if you have to mount your flight controller in a position other than front facing the front. All right, so what's really cool right now is if you look at iNav, it says front and it's upside down. You with me, Art?
Yeah.
And it is upside down.
Yeah,
But
it
if
is.
but it is oriented correctly, because if I lift the nose up, it's upside down now, so the nose is going down. See it?
Yeah.
Yeah. There is a setting in the configuration tab right here called board and sensor alignment. And
There you go.
this is one of the settings that's in both Betaflight and iNav that allows you to tell the board that it's not sitting in there straight. So if you notice, my roll setting is 180, which
There
means
you
the
go.
board is 180 degrees upside down, and my yaw degrees is 90, and that tells the board that it's sitting in there sideways. Now, you have to, what I had to do is I tried 90 and it worked. But there's a chance that I might have had to put in 270 if I had the board facing the other way. You see? And so the 90, I got lucky. I hit it right the first time. So when you get what you think is correct, you go back to your setup screen. You take your airplane. I'm going to flip it over now. Okay, and then you move it around and make sure that the little thing on the screen follows what you're moving. So if I tilt the nose up, if I tilt the nose down, if I now this is interesting. There's the top, and it looks like it's not right. I just did this today, and I haven't flown it yet. I haven't tested it, but it may be that I have it backwards, because when I tip the right wing up, which way is the? That's the front. So if that's the front, and I tip the right wing up, the right thing is going down there. See that? So I'm glad I took a look at this. Now, this would not have screwed up a flight until I switched it into some stabilized
Right.
mode, and then it would go all over the place. But I think that I was trying to do it with the controller out of the airplane, and I hadn't gotten around to doing the final checks on it yet. So let's see
Right.
if we can fix this.
There,
So
yeah.
the front of the airplane is there. So it appears that I have this thing yawed 180 degrees wrong. So let's go in to the configuration. Let's go into
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
configuration, and let's
Mhm.
change the yaw to
270.
270. And then let's save and reboot and see if now the airplane is moving correctly. Back into setup. So that's the top. The back is down. The back is up. Roll to the right. Roll to the left. Okay, you see the difference?
There you go.
So now it's working correctly. So
Yep.
that's what happens. I had just finished installing this thing, and then I had to deal with the show, and I hadn't gotten around to checking all the servo directions of the final configuration. But I thought I had that right, but evidently I didn't. So
Yep.
so now it appears to be working correctly. So when I hold the airplane straight up, it does that. When I point the
There
nose
you go.
down, it does that. When I yaw it to the left, it does that. When I yaw it to the right, it does that. When I roll it to the left and roll it to the right. Okay, so now even though I've got my flight controller mounted in there upside down and backwards and sideways, it knows where the front of the airplane is and where the back of
Right.
the airplane is, and it's rolling and doing that. Well, that's cool. Okay, so now I think another thing I'm going to do, now that I got that setting correct, is as I make these different settings, I want to save a copy of all of the settings that I've made to this particular flight controller, and that includes the mixer settings for
Right.
the servos
right.
and the motor, the output settings
Yeah.
that I had to make in here, the ports for the different things connected to the flight controller. For example, my GPS is connected to UART1, my receiver is connected to UART2, and I have smart audio, which allows me to change the channels and power of the video transmitter connected to what's called
There you
soft
go.
serial 1, all the different configuration things, what I want this thing to do on failsafe, which is return
Right.
to home. The PID tuning I haven't fooled with too much yet, but I'm going to, iNav has an auto tune feature, and I'm going to do that when I take it out to fly it, use the auto tune, and that'll change these things. These PIDs are not as sensitive on airplanes because airplanes are inherently
Right.
inherently stable, and but the feed forward pretty much adjusts how sensitive, how much throw you're going to get, and how sensitive
Right.
it is. So if you want the airplane to move more when you move the stick more when you're flying it in either acro or stabilized mode, you up the feed forward. It's totally different than quads though, and Betaflight uses
Yep.
the term feed forward in a different way than iNav does. All these different advanced tuning settings, programming. I'm going to go into what they call the command line interface to CLI. I'm going to type diff all, and
There you
we have
go.
UAV Worship. Hello everyone, is this
Yeah, I wonder,
mostly a
I
FPV
wonder who
channel?
that could be.
No, that's not Dan, I don't think.
Yeah, I think it's
I don't know.
probably Dan.
You think it is? I don't know. Drone
think it
worship?
is.
Might be. I don't know. Anyway, now we talk about camera drones, but this for this thing, I try to keep it mostly into FPV, iNav, Betaflight, things like that. Anyway, what I did here was I made a dump of all the different things that are not the default settings when you first flash the firmware. When you first flash firmware from Betaflight or iNav, the devs have given us what they call the default settings, which should work on
Right.
most devices. But once you change anything, and I'll just give you an example of what I want to clear the history. I'm going to just type the word dump in
Right.
here. I'm going to take a dump. All right. Dump says print out every command. Okay? Every variable that Betaflight stores. Look at them all. Okay? Now, most of these are still set to the defaults.
Right.
So
right,
if
right.
I know that that I'm only interested in the stuff I changed, because if I have to reflash this board with maybe an updated version of the firmware, it's going to have its own set of defaults, and all I care about are the changes to the settings that I did. So
Right.
the word diff, which basically means different, and all,
Oh, really?
yeah, when I type diff all, I get a list, much shorter list, of only the stuff I've changed. So if I reload the firmware on the flight controller and then reload just these changes,
Uh-huh.
I have brought the flight controller back to exactly the way it was when I did what I'm going to do now, and that is save this to a file, and I'm going to put it on my desktop, and
Yeah.
I'm going to save it. Okay. So now if
Okay,
I
cool.
look at this file here,
Okay.
I have a text file. Whoops. I have a text file with all of those things. So if I need to reflash this flight controller, I can just make a copy of this entire thing here,
Right. Right.
or
right.
I can just right click and say select all,
Okay.
do a control C, go into my iNav, put this down here, and hit control V, and it'll paste all that stuff in
Oh,
and change
There we
all
go.
those default settings back to that. So I just wanted to make sure that since I changed those settings, and if I look for those settings in here, I could probably find them in the diff file. Let's see. Auxiliary sets what the different mode switches do. This is what shows up on my OSD. Here's the master.
Right.
These are accelerator settings.
Right. Right.
Here it is. No, launch angle. They're in here somewhere. Sure. OSD master. Yeah. Here it is, right here.
Right.
Set align board roll equals 1800, which is 180. They take it to
Right.
10 to the 10th decimal place. Align board yaw 2700. So when I redo this, or redo the software on it, those two settings, when I repaste them back into CLI, will reset those to the proper thing. So now I'm glad I'm glad that I did that for you guys, because saved me from having to figure that out down the road. I still can't believe who is Mitch Worship? Someone with a pea shooter's name. Let me check up on the chat. Okay, UAV Worship is not Dan, or it's Dan putting us on, but he says,
Yeah.
what drones would you recommend for photography? I'm just starting out. We have another one, Tech Air 1 is back in here, some new guys. Welcome to the stream, guys. Why aren't some of you guys in here on my panel with me is what I want to know. Did you not get the links? Carlos, Ed, any of you guys not get the links that I sent out earlier? Well, that's okay.
Hmm.
So what else we got to do?
I'll do my Colonel Clink. Hogan!
Yeah.
Schultz! Schultz!
Well, somebody give me some guidance as to where you want me to go with this thing, or we'll take the rest of the night off.
Yeah.
What do you think, Art?
Yeah. Rick just disappeared from us. He's not back yet. I guess he called in even.
Well, I was kind of... Maybe everybody's just tired because there's been 5 million live streams on all day, every day.
Yeah.
and it's late Sunday night.
Yeah.
Now, last weekend, remember we had Kelly was here last weekend,
Yeah.
and we
Very
couldn't get, and we just couldn't get off of the thing. We just kept going and going and going.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I was getting worn out.
You blew your load last week.
What kind of whoop, tiny whoop, is best for chasing paramotors? H&K. I would, you know what? To be, I know. Well, I think you're just kidding, but I would think that any of the 3-inch, the new 3-inch Cinewhoops that they have, would work great for that. Any drone with shrouds on it, to keep from cutting into fabric. That would be my only real worry would be. Of course, I guess it could get caught up in a prop. But the nice thing, here's the thing about a paramotor: is engine failures shouldn't bother you because you are, in essence, wearing a parachute.
That's right.
And you're just going to come down as if normally in a parachute. Maybe it's a little heavier because of all the motor, but the let's see.
Right.
Let's do this here, and let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Any of these
Right.
any of these kind of things that they're talking about, everybody's got them now. There's just tons of them. And they have, look at them all. It's become very popular. I don't have one yet. I don't even know if I want one. But most of them are 3-inch. They have pretty much the same size motors as this little in fact, they're about the same size as this Acrobrat 3-inch quad.
Right.
If I put shrouds on this, I would basically have a Cinewhoop because this has got the DJI digital system in it. A lot of most of the Cinewhoops have GoPro mounts up on top of them too,
Right.
because that's what the guys are going to want to shoot with is a GoPro.
Yeah.
But and they run anywhere from $180 or so up to $350, $400 if you get them with the DJI Air units.
Right.
A lot of them now have the. Here's a iFlight Bumblebee Cinewhoop. Oh, this is just the frame. Okay.
Right.
So you could just buy the frames, but this it has the rubber bumpers around it, which is nice. So
Rubber
I imagine
baby buggy bumpers.
I imagine if you were going to be air photographing somebody in a balloon or a parachute, you probably couldn't hurt him with something like this.
Right.
Whereas a flying chainsaw like a 5-inch racing quad would do quite a number on you. But this is the one. I think this is what Ken wasn't Ken on your deal showing that.
Yeah, he was on last night. I think that's what he's got.
He's got it was a yellow one. I think it was this one.
No, I think his was green.
Was it green? Okay.
Yeah, he's into the Kawasaki green.
But he broke it anyway.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
His friend Chris is getting it fixed.
Well, would it look like this one over here, this green one?
Yeah. Something like that.
That's another iFlight one. But they're becoming very, very popular for FPV. And here's one that actually evidently comes as a package. And it's only 2,280 NZDs, whatever NZDs are.
Oh, that'd be New Zealand?
2,800 New Zealand dollars? It doesn't make any sense. Is that about 400 American dollars? Anyway, I'm looking at the images section of Google, not the shopping section. So if I hit the shopping section up, now we should see. But $140, $200, Diatone. That's tiny. That's a 86 millimeter. That's even smaller than a 3-inch quad. But here, when you get here's one for $400. So does that have the DJI system in it? Race day quads. Yeah, it's got the DJI digital system, bind and fly, ready to go. It's got the GoPro mount on it. There's the air unit back here. I probably going to end up building one of these things one of these days.
There you go.
But yeah, probably have to. So let's get back on equal terms here, all right?
There we go.
Joe Blaylock says Ken Hearn is so lucky he got it back. I didn't. How long ago did he make that video at the bridge? That was a little while ago, wasn't it? Or did he do it again?
Yeah, that was a while. Well, there were two of them. I think two different drones. One was, I don't think the first one was a Cinewoop, but it might have been a ductless one. Or the second one, the Cinewoop, something happened, and it was still in the air, and it just fell right on the bridge. Where that other one, he hit something and it bounced along the ground and almost went in the drink.
Oh, I saw that where he had to ask the guy that was with him. Who was with him? Dana? Was Dana with him?
No, it was this Wes, the guy that has a sports car, and the Mavic Pro 2.
Okay, yeah. He said, "Is it on the bridge? Is it on the bridge?" He didn't know if it was on the bridge or whether it went in the water. Yeah. Now he got lucky, didn't he?
He got lucky twice.
He got lucky
on that
twice.
bridge. That second one, something happened. I think one of the ESCs burned out, and it just started tumbling, and luckily it landed right on the bridge instead of in the water, because he was, I think he was going through the bridge and coming out the side, coming around, and
yeah. Well, I there's water at the park where I fly, but I don't just don't. I don't have that philosophy. I was thinking about making, I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but since we're just here shooting the crap,
Right.
this is a great hobby.
Yeah, it is.
All aspects of droning. The camera drones have their allure, and for some guys, it's all about photography. And of course, the FPV guys are now creeping into the photography arena with the Cinewhoops because, let's face it, you can create more exciting, dynamic scenes and action shots,
Right.
like they do in Hollywood, chasing cars and blowing things. You can do those things with camera drones, but they're pretty well limited, the basic Mavics and things, to 20-something miles an hour, and
Yeah.
it's just going to, you can put it in sport mode and go a little faster, but it's just not going to go 100 miles an hour. Diving
Right.
diving over cliffs and everything, and on the other hand, you're not going to break them nearly as often, and they're not designed to be broken. So they're two completely and entirely different types of drones, and
Right.
the pilots that fly them fall into one camp or the other, and there's a crossover. But for what happens, I think, is when you want to take pictures, you fly the camera drones. When you want to fly as a sport and for
Right.
the thrill of it and to go for the ride, you fly the FPV drones.
Can I share a photo of the that I
Sure.
took from the Evo?
Sure, absolutely.
All right, let me share the screen. Let me go here. Let me go there. Bear with me.
I'm bearing.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Are you just going to share the screen in StreamYard?
Yeah.
Share the window? Yeah, okay.
Oh. Okay, we're.
So remind me to finish my little dialogue that I had started when we're done with your picture, wherever it may be.
Okay, I'm waiting. Come
Oh, you can't find it?
there. It's coming. Ah, there we go. Alrighty.
Okay. Is that a
Can you
photo?
see it?
Is that a
Oh, wait a minute.
photograph or that's not a video? That's a photograph. Okay.
Yeah. No, that's a photo. Yeah, but look at that view. There's the mountains, the lake where my drone crashed.
No, it's beautiful. Is that the lake where your
Yeah.
drone crashed?
Yep.
Well, you got
Yep,
really
so-
really lucky. Really lucky there, Art.
Yes, yes,
uh,
I did.
That to have a good friend like Sean that
Yeah.
will say, okay, I lost your drone here, take mine. That was that was an amazing thing that he did for you.
Yeah. Yeah, that shows you what a stand-up guy he is.
Yep, no doubt about it.
Stop. Okay.
Cool.
Now we're,
All right,
we're back.
very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I was talking about here,
Right.
and in this, while we're talking, I'm going to put this in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're seeing, this is actually that same flight I showed you with the paramotor guy. But
Right.
this is the goggles recording. There, so you can actually see the and the goggles actually records some of the OSD information in the form of a subtitle file. That's how DJI does it. So you can, if you have the subtitle file in the same file folder as the video and play back the goggles, you get this information, and it tells you your signal strength, what channel you're on, your flight time in seconds, not
Right.
broken down into minutes, but in seconds, your quad battery voltage, your goggles battery voltage, how many cells your quad has, how many cells your goggles have, what your latency is. And if you
Right.
see mine, it's going between 33 and 40 most of the time. And that's because I'm in high quality mode here, which means that I'm refreshing at 60 frames a second instead of what they call low latency mode at 120 frames a second. But
Uh-huh.
you get a much better goggle feed, and I don't even notice the latency. But the most important thing to look at is the next one. It says bit rate. 50.8. So it's 50 megabits now, and they just upped it from 25. So the StreamYard rendition of this that I'm showing you isn't anywhere near as sharp as what I'm seeing on my computer
Right.
screen, unfortunately. But it is sharp as high definition. It's as beautiful as can be. And if you look at that bit rate, it stays locked pretty well at 50. And I'd have to fly pretty far away before that even starts to drop. And this is supposed to have a range. If I'm sitting out in the open and kind of have my goggles pointed at where the drone is flying, I have a range
Right.
of probably close to, I think they say 10 kilometers or something like that, 6 or 8 miles. It's incredible. That's not what I wanted to talk about, but I want to use this. I want to use this video, and I wonder if I can turn the subtitles off here.
Right.
Let's see. There we go. I wanted to talk. I was thinking about making a video about this, and I'd rather talk on live streams than sit in front of a camera with nobody listening and talk and make a video. But notice my flying style
Yeah.
is not. It doesn't look like what you
Mr.
normally see. You normally see in an FPV flying video on
Right.
YouTube. You see exciting. Let me break in and answer Mel's. Mitch, do you use any Spectrum transmitters? Yeah, I do, Mel. I do. I have. Well, I used to use nothing but JR, which is similar to Spectrum, and of course
Right.
Spectrum took them over. And I have a Spectrum, I think an old DX7 or something in there that I still use. But anyway, I was talking about my flying style,
Right.
and it's different,
Yeah.
and everybody kind of eggs you, especially Carlos and that crew, to fly through smaller gaps,
Right.
do things that are more exciting, take chances.
Take
So-
chances.
So
Be challenging. Yeah.
yeah, and
Just to kind of say, hey, I did it. Yeah.
and that's what I wanted, to talk about, and
Right.
I think that what happens if you're getting into FPV, the concept of what is FPV, because of Mr. Steele and Joshua Bardwell and Nurkala and Rotor Riot and all of these guys that are
Right.
always outdoing each other with more daring and more dramatic type videos, types of flying, where they brag about, I broke 40 GoPros last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you begin to feel, well, this hobby's not for me. I'm not interested. And a lot of people, I think, especially older people, or especially guys that have been in the RC hobby, or especially camera drone guys, may look at that kind of thing, and if you were to make an analogy to motorcycles, say to yourself, well, I guess motorcycling is jumping canyons and motocross and trail riding and all that, where there are some guys that just want to climb
Right.
on their big old Harley Davidson, and they want to just chug on down the road
Mm-hmm.
and relax. Well, the young hotshot guys might laugh at the old guys who just want to chug down the road in their Harley.
Mm-hmm.
But all of us have different goals in everything we do,
Right.
in everything we we do in life. I have absolutely no desire to prove to anybody that I'm a better pilot than they are,
Yeah.
or that
Be
I
your
can
old
fly.
man, Mitch.
I can fly through a hole smaller than you can fly through.
Yeah.
Now, to me, the thrill of all of this is putting yourself in the airplane
Mm-hmm.
and soaring around and looking around and enjoying the scenery that you see,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to always being 4 feet off the ground, diving through holes and things.
Yeah.
To me, it's what flying is, and as a pilot, as a real
Mhm.
pilot, it's what I always enjoyed about flying. It
Yeah.
wasn't daredevil stuff. It
Mhm.
was just the beauty, and
Right.
this here. Let me do this here. This particular flight here, if I remember correctly, I
Mhm.
took off. And I said, I want to climb up high. Just go
Yeah.
up and 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 look around. So this is with an FPV drone. Okay?
Mhm.
And it's something that we don't usually do with FPV drones.
Mhm.
We don't go up like that. And I went up to probably 400 feet.
Yeah.
Although I didn't know. And then I said, I wonder how fast I could come down. And I pulled the power back, and down I come. And I actually I did this yesterday morning, and I said, this is really cool, just soaring over the lakes and
Mhm.
soaring over the trees. And,
Right.
and this is also FPV flying.
Right.
That you
right,
don't
right,
you
right.
don't see. You just don't see this stuff
Mhm.
on YouTube. You see this stuff. You see on YouTube videos about FPV quad flying. It's all racing and flying low to the ground in parking lots, around trees, through abandoned warehouses and all that. Now I can fly between trees. Here, I flew between some trees. But
There you go.
it's more of a cruising thing. And there's a big wide gap in the trees, so there's no pressure there. There's no stress.
Yeah.
It's just soaring, and that
Mhm.
the point that I thought would be nice to make in a video is that you don't have to conform to and do what everybody else is doing,
Yeah.
or feel like you need to be accepted into their club
Mm.
because you know how to do Rubik's cubes and inverted yaw spins and all that other kind of stuff, and dream up new crazy maneuvers that nobody else has done. It's okay, and you'll enjoy the hobby as much or more figuring out what it is that you enjoy.
Mhm.
For me, this is what I enjoy. This
Cool.
is an example of, as far as I'm concerned, if I never got any better at it than this,
Mhm.
if this is all I can do, and I feel like I'm in command of the quad, I'm not reacting to it. I'm driving it, but I'm ready at this point. I've practiced enough to do this kind of thing,
Right.
where now I can take this thing out to the beach, for example, and do this kind of flying along the seashore, down low over the water and maybe up high to catch other things. And this is what I enjoy. So
Right.
this is all right. This is all right for me. And to a lot of the guys who look at FPV and think that it's all about being a badass and having to go out
Right.
and prove that you're faster and better and bigger than the other guy. Don't think you have to do that. If you do nothing more than learn to control the thing, Art, and you'll see this, and enjoy it to whatever limits you want to take it. It is a great hobby. Another advantage of altitude is you have your, we used to, in RC flying, we used to call it 3 mistakes high, 4 mistakes high. I'm 6 mistakes high. Altitude is your friend. Yeah. And Carlos says flying close and lower to the ground gives you the sensation of speed. That's true, Carlos.
Yeah.
I agree. And I like to, in these kind of flights that I do just to fly around and everything, sometimes I'll come down closer to the ground and then I like to go up real high. And believe it or not, yesterday was the first time that I just said, I'm going to take this thing up real high and look around. And that's what I'm looking forward to doing with this little airplane, this little drift that I just showed you.
Right.
That little airplane has a 3,500 milliamp lithium ion battery.
Right.
In the nose, okay? And I showed you, I don't know if I showed you this battery pack that I built, but
Yeah.
let me show it to you.
Mm-hmm.
This.
Right.
And I built it out of these. Couple of
Oh, okay.
.18650s, and I bought these on eBay for like $6 or $7 a piece, and they're Samsung brand. Yeah,
Right.
they're the good ones. 3,500 milliamps, and they have solder tabs on them. They already have the solder tabs welded.
Oh, okay.
So you solder up a pack like this, and you put now an equivalent size and weight lithium polymer battery, a LiPo, would be about a 1,000 milliamps. This is 3,500 milliamps. The disadvantage to lithium ion is it can't dump power as fast. So if you have a device like a small quad that needs a lot of power, a lot of amps, this battery won't supply it. But for a little lightweight little airplane that weighs 300 grams with one little motor on it
Right.
that draws a maximum of 7 amps,
Wow.
this can supply all the power it needs. And the neat thing is that little Zod airplane, that little drift airplane, will cruise at about 2.5 amps motor.
Wow.
Now this is 30. This will give you 3.5 amps continuous for 1 hour. That's what milliamp hour means. A milliamp hour means if you have 1,000 milliamp hour battery, that means that it will give you 1,000 milliamps for 1 hour. So this is a 3,500 milliamp, which means it's 3.5 amps for an hour.
Mhm.
So if I'm drawing 2.5 amps, it means I can fly for more than an hour with this one little lightweight battery.
Oh,
So that's going to be cool. And in the next couple of days, I'm going to go out and do an hour flight. And I'm going to record it with that thing. And I'm just going to, and this has a long range receiver in it. It'll go about 10 miles. The video feed is going to be the limiting factor.
Yeah.
But I think I might try to figure out a way to get a DJI, maybe the Vista
Yeah.
system in there. But I'm going to put this little battery pack in that airplane, and it fits, and it actually balances pretty perfectly with the pack
Mm-hmm.
in the back of the battery compartment. and it's got iNav, and it's got all the automation, and it's got return to home, and it's got all that neat stuff. It's got the FPV camera in it, and the kind of flying that I want to do is going to be sit down in my lawn chair,
Cool.
kick back, put the goggles on,
Get a
and
couple
relax,
old ones.
and just and go and relax. And the kind of flying that's right for you, I think, is the kind of flying that you enjoy the most,
Yeah.
whatever it may be. And it doesn't matter what the other guy does. It doesn't matter what the other guy likes to do.
Right.
Some people like to play football. Some people like to watch football.
Right.
But everybody knows what they enjoy, and that's what we should do. And I fight in this competitive age that we have, and especially in the competitive area of YouTube,
Right.
where we always try to put up a video that's better, bigger, faster than the other
Yeah.
guy's video, and outdo them all. It puts a lot of pressure on people
Right.
to try to keep up instead of just doing what they enjoy. And so let me
Well-
catch up.
Mitch, I got a blaze here. I gotta get ready
All right,
for
all right.
bed.
Okay.
And my light over here is dying on me. So hey, thanks for having me in. I hope I was
All right.
able to kind of help you along here.
You are, Art, and I appreciate that. I try to do that for you when I see you're on there by yourself, because you know yourself that doing these things alone, it's tough. It's tough to, I'm not an entertainer. I'm a conversationalist, I guess. So I'm going to go and spend the rest of the 15 minutes we have left catching up with the chat here, talking to the
Okay.
guys, and thanks for coming in. We'll see you the next time, buddy.
All right, take care.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Where is it? There it is. God, I'm a little slow. I need a full-time producer. Anyway, let me. I haven't been able to talk to the chat very much here since we have nothing else going on. Ed, love my drones. Flying live is hard work. Mitch, do you use Spectrum? Yes, I do. Smooth flying is nice to watch. AGK, I agree, and it's not only is it nice to watch, it's nicer to do. And one of the thoughts that I had, and I'm going to do it because I used to do it with RC airplanes, and I haven't done this in a long time. I'm going to mix up a music track of some different music that sets different kinds of moods, and I'm going to put my earbuds in and play it on my cell phone, and I'm going to try to choreograph a flight to this music, where I change directions, and it's make it almost like a dance, and I want to try that and see when the video gets all cut up, if it isn't something that might be fun to watch or fun to do, but that's something that I think I'd like to do. Mel just got a DX8, and the foam plane has a DX4. Yeah, Spectrum makes great radios. I enjoyed your story about the bind plug, because I just ran into that very same thing. I've got this old multiplex powered glider, and it's been hanging up, and it uses the Spectrum. So I charged up my transmitter, my old DX. I think it's a DX6 or 7, DX7, because I used to use nothing but JRs. I've got a whole closet full of old JR radios, but this so happens that this particular airplane had a Spectrum receiver in it, and I flew it a few months ago, and no problem. So I take it out and I got a whole bag. I mean, literally a bag full of bind plugs, which are just a little connector with a shorting loop that goes from the two outside pins of a 3-pin servo connector. It just shorts the outside 2 pins. And they usually put a little red tag on it, kind of like a remove before flying tag. And typical JR type, Spectrum type bind plug. And over the years, you collect them up. And I get out to the field and I turn the radio on and I put the battery in the airplane and I plug it in and it goes beep, 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 and the ESC boots up and everything is fine. And I try to move the controls and nothing happens. I said, what the hell's wrong? So I unplugged the battery and plugged it back in again, turned the radio off, turned the radio on again. Nothing. Wouldn't control it. Had it set to the right model. Everything was just what you were going through, Mel. And I said, it feels like my receiver became unbound somehow. I don't know how that happened. I hadn't touched it in the whole mess. So I went looking in my case where I have my transmitters, and I had some bind plugs in there and decided I don't ever need these things. I don't ever fly Spectrum anymore. So I put them away in a bag with all the other bind plugs. Didn't have anything with me. But sure enough, there's a couple of other guys flying out there. And all of these planes that you buy from Horizon Hobbies, all the E-Flight stuff, they all use Spectrum receivers, and they all have bind plugs. So sure enough, one of the other guys out there had a bind plug, and I went through it. You went through. Fortunately for me, my receiver wasn't broken like yours, but I plugged the bind plug in, and it bound. And the way you do it is you plug the bind plug into the receiver, you plug the battery in on the aircraft, and then the light starts blinking on the receiver. Now, once the receiver's powered up with the bind plug in, on the back of the transmitter, there's a bind button. You push the bind button in, then you turn on the transmitter power. In a second or two, the whole thing binds up to itself, and basically that doesn't allow somebody else's transmitter to fly that particular receiver. So once the two of them are together, they become married, and until you bind the receiver to a different transmitter. Same thing is true with the Free Sky and Jumper and all the ones we use. Once you bind a receiver to a transmitter, it pairs it up. So I was able to bind it up, but I kind of had a grin when you told your story, Mel, because I just went through that. Where was I? If it ain't fun, don't do it, Cigar Nation Warrior says. And then Paul, how you doing? 3 inches off the ground. And yeah, the guys keep making fun of my flying. They're calling me Miss Daisy. Well, so be it. So be it. You push yourself. I'll tell you what, any of you guys that think that I fly like Miss Daisy, any of you guys, come down here to Florida with a bunch of money, and I will get some 100 and plus, I won't tell you how many plus miles an hour airplanes, RC airplanes, and we'll have a contest to see who can fly lower and faster and not crash line of sight. I'll win. Miss Daisy. Carlos says, you push yourself because you want to push yourself, not to prove anything. He agrees with me, sort of. Well, thank you, Carlos, for sort of thank you. Drone pool, haven't flown in Acro in 2 months. Wow. How'd you do that, Dan? Well, I guess everybody's been listening to us. Agent K, 3D flying. Mitch, you were saying that flying high, it almost seems like a fast GPS drone. Whatever makes you happy. So thank you, Carlos. And then, of course, Ed comes in and tells me I missed the landing pad. Thank you. Okay. Ludsad, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. He tells me he loves me. That's great. Yeah, you're right. Exactly. 1,000 milliamps is 1 amp. That is absolutely correct. So when you say 5,000 milliamp hours, you're saying 5 amp hours. And That's exactly what it means. It'll give you, so this little 3500 lithium ion pack should be fun. Now there's a British guy who flies FPV wings and airplanes, and his channel name is Rag the Nuts Off. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of him. His name is Matt. Very entertaining guy. He's got a pretty large following, and he does he builds all of these FPV airplanes and wings, and he's a wild man when it comes to flying and everything else. And they just he puts up at least a video every day, and he builds at least 2 airplanes, new ones every week, and he buys them all with his own money. And he's always trying new and different things. And he built one of these drifts and put that same battery arrangement that I did in it, the 2200, the 3500 milliamp 2-cell, and he had flown 2 hours and 2 minutes, came back and had only used about 2200 of the 3500 milliamps. So that means you get probably a good hour and a half flight. Now I don't know if you get bored to death long before the hour and a half were to happen. But I know when I'm flying my Mavics that can fly, maybe Mavic 2s at 25 minutes, they're supposed, come 10, if I'm not trying to accomplish something, if I'm just going up to fly around and look around, after 10 or 15 minutes, I'm ready to land anyway. Spanks, my producer. Yeah, Agent K. What else we got to say? Timeless Truths. How you doing? Great show. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Back in the sky. Carlos, you don't have to. No, none of us. Nobody has to make any. I don't want to say excuses or provide any explanation for the way they fly, or what they put on YouTube, because that's the name of the game. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, why do it? Why bother? If you don't enjoy it. And Carlos, you and I are 2 and completely different types of people. You love what you do. You love flying those little drones around in the trees and in the parks and all that stuff. And I can see by your excitement, you and Ed and those guys, of the enthusiasm you have for that kind of flying. And for you to be doing anything else would be stupid. For me, I like things big and high and smooth. Always have, in both full-scale flying and full-scale aerobatic flying and RC flying. For me, it's always been big and smooth and fast, and that's what I always tend to drift into, because in reality, that's what we end up doing. We don't have to think about if we enjoy it, we do more of it. If we don't enjoy it, we don't do it. Oh, thank you, Bill. Metro Drones, welcome, and thank you for the $10 super chat. I truly appreciate that. And I enjoyed this kind of flying when I was younger too. It isn't about being older. I'm not older. I'm the same guy inside as I was when I was 30. Your body ages and you gain a little wisdom along the way, but we're still looking at the world through the same eyes, same person we always were. And I've always enjoyed that kind of flying. So when it came to RC flying, I didn't go into pylon racing. I didn't go into 3D flying where you're flipping and flopping and all that other crap. I went into aerobatics, big precision maneuvers. I competed in contests. That's what I enjoyed. And I definitely enjoy the style of FPV flying that I seem to be settling into. Now, I want to enhance it a little bit, and I do want to become more precise and get more flow, and that's the word they use, more flow into my flights. But I don't want to kill myself breaking drone after drone after drone trying to master some very difficult maneuver that's not important to me. And I think the whole reason that I wanted to talk about this was maybe I'm talking to myself here to tell myself that it's okay if I don't become Mr. Steele Jr. You know, it's okay for any of us to rise to whatever level it is where we just enjoy what we're doing. And I think that I wanted to say that for your own pride, whatever it is that you do, try to do it well, and be satisfied with what you do. But if you're just learning FPV like I am, and so many of the guys that are coming over from the camera drones, don't put the pressure on yourself. Just go through the motions. Art, this is for you. Rick, this is for you. Just fly the simulator, start flying the little drones around, crashing into everything. Pretty soon you don't even have to think about it. All of a sudden you'll realize, wow, I can actually control this thing. And just take it a little more each time, and find a style and something that you enjoy doing, and then just keep doing that and getting better at it. Ludsat1, thank you, my friend, for the sticker. I love that. But I'm not going to play the sticker song. Thank you for the $3 super chat. Very nice, thank you. MN Paul says, you only break stuff if you crash. That's part of the thrill. For some guys it might be. For me, I've said this many times before, and I'll say it one more time. Coming up after 50 plus years of building RC airplanes, some of these airplanes took a year to build, cost $10,000+ to build. Crashing is not an option. It's not something that you even accept. You do everything in your power to not break the airplane, because those things were a ton of time and a ton of effort. A lot of them were built for scale competitions. You don't want to crash them. And over the years, I just developed this don't crash at all costs mentality. I can't shake that with these drones. I know these drones are pretty much unbreakable. I know I could fly them into a tree, and worst comes to worst, break an arm and fix it. I have a mental block, so I don't crash. I'll tell you this, I started this, maybe I haven't come along as fast as some other guys. I've been flying FPV for 1 year and 3 months now. I'm at the point where I think I can handle an FPV quad pretty well. I've never broken a prop. Not one. The only time I broke a prop was when I actually got in it, trying to get out of a tree. But actually flying a quad and crashing, I haven't even broken them. These guys have barrels full of broken props. And the way I do it isn't the way anybody else should do it. But because of my mindset about not crashing and not taking the risks, I probably am not as far along as I could be if I wanted to push it. But I don't. And I'm happy with my progress, and I'm happy with the way I fly. And I haven't broken, not only haven't I broken a prop, but I've never broken a quad either. And I haven't, and I can't remember the last time I even crashed an RC airplane. So, knock on wood. All right, guys, let's see. Let me finish up with the chat here. How's the helicopter going? The helicopter's sitting there waiting for me to decide how much time I want to put into actually getting that RG Pilot tuned on a traditional helicopter. Turns out it's nowhere near as simple as they make it sound. Ed loved my drones. He prefers just to screw up props. Yeah. Crashing costs money, says Drone Pool. But after a while it gets boring. So try to mix it up. You know, I still love you, Mitch. Oh, it's Carlos. Yeah, Carlos wants me to dive chimneys and cranes. We save that kind of stuff for the simulator, where crashes don't cost anything. Agent K. Put a mask on the monkey. You just gotta have the old guy. Yeah. Thank you, guys. I crash about 5 times a day. Broke one prop. Yeah, you're right. You can crash these things and not break anything. Personally, maybe I'm just too lazy to go get it. I think, I just want it to come back to me. Anyway, guys, somehow we managed to fill up 2 hours. So thanks for coming in. Can't believe this. I got 25 people watching. I'm going to shut the stream down. Well, that's great. That's great. That means a lot to me that you guys will hang in here with me, even when I'm not talking about a particular subject. I know we're supposed to do technical stuff tonight, and I'd love to. I'm not too proud of myself. I can't even get Rick Halber's Velocidrone up and working. It's just one problem after another. But we'll get him there. But I appreciate it. Thank you for all the good comments, and I feel the love, guys. So hopefully next week I'll have some decent weather and get some flying in. I don't really post a lot of flying videos. I show a lot of the stuff on the live streams, so that's fine for me. But we'll have some airplane stuff, and I feel a need to build yet another drone, but I don't know what. I might have to put together one of those Cinewhoop things so that I can fly around in places with a little higher performance drone without worrying about breaking things or hurting people. So we'll see. We'll see. So anyway, with that, guys, I will bring up a little music because it is 10 o'clock. And thank all you guys for hanging in there with me to the end. I think this is the first time. I think this is the best attendance I've ever had on one of these things. So hopefully maybe next Sunday we'll get some more people in with some technical issues, with some problems that they're having getting receivers to work or data flight tuned or some of that stuff, and we can get into that. Arizona, let's see, Metro Drones, Bill, thank you so much for coming in, and I appreciate the support as always. Yowie P51, thank you, man. Thanks for coming in. I know you're a long way away, and good to see you. Joe Blaylock, Drone Pool, thank you all. Bob Casey, man, you're still here. Thank you, Bob. MN Paul, Agent K, my buddy, thank you. Lover of Spank. Thank you, man. Yeah, the drone dance video. I am going to do that. I've been thinking about doing that. I just wanted to wait till I got to a certain point with my flying ability on these FPV quads. Ed and Carlos, the dynamic duo, thank you for coming in. Robert Glazier, thank you, my friend. And let me see who else I can mention. Dan, Drone Pool, Jody, if you're still here, Drone Shots, Ludsat1, thank you, man. Appreciate the support. Who am I missing? I'm going back. Joe Blaylock, we got you. Yeah, I bring back this guy. Tech Air 1, if you're still around, thanks for coming in. Timeless Truths, thank you. We'll see you all the next time. If I missed Cigar Nation Warriors, good to see you again. Thanks for watching. And any of you guys that are getting into FPV, come participate in the panel with me. If you want a link, just put it in the chat. I'll get you a link. We'll get you in here, introduce you to the community, and talk FPV. So with that, I want to take the rest of the day off. I suggest you guys do the same. Go play with your drones. Have a great week. And I will see you all on Thursday night at 6 p.m. and again next Sunday at 8 p.m. So until then, I want to turn it over to Spank, the monkey, to say goodnight. Say goodnight, Spanky.